So, good morning. I'm back here at Charles C. Deam Wilderness. Last time I was here, I couldn't find campsite 2 on Sycamore Trail, so that's what I'm going looking for today. This isn't a backpacking trip; it's just a day hike, and so that's what I'm up to today, and I'll show you what I find. So I have made it to the junction of Terrell Ridge and Sycamore, and so now I'm going to be heading down Sycamore and see if we can find that elusive campsite 2. So here's a view of the trail. It's a nice trail. Nice trail. A lot of shade, but it's 83 degrees. So I'm going to head on down here and I'll let you know when I get into the valley. So I've made it to the bottom of the switchbacks, and this is a dispersed campsite, and in Charles C. Deam it's perfectly okay to camp in a dispersed campsite. It is occupied, so I'm not going to walk in there, but I just wanted to let you know that it's here. Just a little bit further down the trail, and I'm to my first water crossing. If you view my previous video here in Charles Deam, this creek was flowing. It is not at this point. There are some puddles of water, but the stream isn't flowing, so I'm going to have to depend on the 1.5 liters of water that I'm carrying. So that first dispersed campsite that I showed you was at about 0.8 of a mile from the trailhead. I'm now at 1.3 miles, and here's another dispersed campsite. It's a nice one. And so again, you don't have to camp in designated campsites in Charles C. Deam Wilderness. And this campsite looks pretty nice. If you're just wanting to walk 1 3/10 miles, hey, this one would be good. Okay, I'm at 1.4 miles, and there's this sign saying that the trail turns left. But then also the old trail seems to continue on. According to my All Trails app, I'm not far from campsite 2, but I'm going to go ahead and take this turn. It's going to lead me up onto a ridge, and I may be out on the ridge when I pass campsite 2. So we're getting close. Well, look at this. There is a sign here. It says campsite 2. Never seen this on my previous 2 hikes. And actually, it looks like it was recently tied to this small tree here. But just as you get down off of the ridge, here's this well-worn path, and so I'm going to walk out there and see what I find. So just a couple hundred yards, a couple hundred feet maybe, past the turnoff, there's this sign saying that the campsite is to the left. As you can see, there is a branch here, a split in the path, so I'm going to take the path to the left. Okay, so I finally arrived. Says that this is campsite 2. Actually, I don't know if it's worth the trouble to get here. Campsite 3, in my estimation, is a better campsite, and campsite 4 definitely is. In fact, I would say the 2 dispersed campsites that I've shown you so far are better than this one. But here it is, campsite 2. I believe this is the campsite where the Adventure Archives guys stayed. So, all right, found it. Quest achieved. Well, I did not do a proper wrap-up to my hike yesterday, so I'll do that now. I did find campsite 2 on the Sycamore Trail. The sign was not there the last 2 times I hiked that trail. I guarantee you, it was not. And this time it looked like someone had Velcroed the sign, or the post actually, up to the side of a tree. But it was where I was going to look. It's where I thought maybe it was, and that's where it was. So I did find it. The hike out was pretty easy. It was only 2 miles. 2 miles, that's it. So the hike out was pretty easy. But the hike back, it got me. And so I made a lot of stops and a lot of sit-down rests. I made it back to the car and was able to safely get home. When I did get back to the car, I had a message on my phone that said I had initiated an SOS. Don't know how that happened. Certainly didn't intend to, although I probably would have welcomed a rescue. But no, I think I may have accidentally pressed some buttons on my telephone, because I was using the... We'll let the sirens pass here. So I was using the message app on my iPhone, and so maybe I did something in the app that by accident, I don't know. Called Nora. She called the dispatcher. Dispatcher said that they had not received a call for help. And so considering that by the time I got that message, I was already in the car. My Garmin InReach Mini 2 was already in the car. So if that's when it happened, then it didn't have a view of the sky and wasn't able to send out a message. So anyway, everything was cool. One of the AT hikers we've been following had a similar thing happen to her a couple weeks ago. So I left her a message telling her that, hey, it happened to me too. Okay, so once I got back to the car, recovered a little bit, drank some water. On my drive out, I stopped at a bait shop. Actually, it was just the other side of the lake, and got me 2 Gatorades and a Snickers bar, and that helped me. That restored some of my energy, and I was able to get home with no trouble. So, mission accomplished. Found campsite 2. I was very disappointed in it. I thought I had heard someone say that campsite 2 was a large campsite. Well, this one wasn't. They may have been confusing campsite 2 and campsite 3, because campsite 3 is fairly large. And it's hard to get to. It's difficult to get to. So I will not be going back there to camp. Campsite 4 is still my favorite. So if you have an occasion to hike Sycamore Trail, I highly recommend campsite 4. If you're looking for a short hike, in this video I showed you a dispersed campsite just after the switchbacks down in the valley, and it's only maybe 0.8 of a mile from the trailhead, and it's a nice campsite. So if you're looking for a short hike but you still want to get out in nature, that dispersed campsite at the bottom of the switchbacks on the Sycamore Trail would be a worthwhile place to camp. So, okay, that's it. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next.